All right, so August 23rd, the LX200 from Panasonic is going to be announced. This camera is probably my favorite compact camera that I've ever used. I took this camera all over the world with me. It's pocketable. It's a micro four thirds sensor. It has a fantastic fast lens. It's f1.7 on the widest end, and really great image stabilization. It was one of the first compact cameras to introduce the 4K photo mode that Panasonic has now utilized in all of their cameras. And I know that there's some initial disappointment online to the most recent images. There's no flip screen. There's no indication that it has a longer lens. A lot of different things that people are upset about. It keeps that same small form factor. It keeps that same fast lens. So what could Panasonic introduce in the LX200 now that it's been 4 years that would be great, make this camera worthy of purchasing? Well, I think there's just a few things that they could do that would make this a fantastic camera. The first thing that I think they could do is make this camera capable of vlog. That would be huge. To be able to use this camera as a portable version of the GH5 that I could stick in my pocket and use and obtain footage as either a B camera or a travel camera would be absolutely great. That image stabilization, the first LX100, would make it fantastic on a small handheld gimbal or just a handhold in and of itself. The second thing that I think they could do is implement really great video autofocus. So they got really close with the GH5S. In fact, I think the GH5S autofocus is absolutely amazing. I mean, if I could have that on the GH5 and any forthcoming GH series cameras, it's great. Not only does it do a face detect autofocus, but it also does a body autofocus. So it'll put a rectangle around the entire body. I did a video a few months back about this, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I think that's something that they could do and make this a great reliable vlogger's camera, travel camera, because when you hold that GH5S up, even though you flip around the screen and you can see it's locked onto your face, it rarely misses. So I think you'd feel comfortable being able to hold this up and aim it at yourself and know that 98% of the time it's going to lock on and get your face and give you really great shallow depth of field with that f1.7 lens. What's the third thing that Panasonic can do? Third thing that Panasonic can do is give us 60 frames per second in 4K. I think this would be really great to give us the ability to slow down some of our footage, give us 120p in 1080p. That would allow us to do really nice 4 times or 5 times slowdown when we're doing video recording. Give us autofocus in that 120 frames per second 1080p mode. That would be absolutely great. And then the final thing that they could do is give us 6K photo mode. 6K photo mode where we could create 18 megapixel still images from the actual video files itself would be fantastic. That would give us a higher resolution than just the 4K photo mode. Give us 4K photo mode at 60 frames per second, and that would be absolutely fantastic as well. So there you go. You can see that the 4 things I think Panasonic can do to make this camera, the LX200, a real winner and a must-buy would be, once again, give us vlog, give us the really great autofocus that we see in the GH5S, give us the 6K photo mode, and give us 60 frames per second in 4K and 120 frames per second in slow motion with autofocus in the slow motion. Thank you so much for watching.